TV.
To the future.
Still to come on this particular program, we got Soul Asylum's Victoria Williams cover on the way, along with the Cranberries and a brand new one from Hazel. But first, part 6 of our exclusive interview with The Cure's Robert Smith. Are there any songs that you play live that you feel like you have to play? Do you play just
like Heaven?
Yeah. Do you play that because you feel like you have to play? Would you not play it if you had your druthers against your better judgment?
I don't know, there are kind of pressures, insidious pressures from all around us when we're out on tour of what to play and what not to play. I think we appreciate that an audience is there and they're going to want, I mean, just talking to an audience, you get the feeling that they want to hear certain songs and would feel upset if they didn't hear them. And it would seem really churlish just not to do them just because we didn't want to do them. I mean, that's the reason why we play so long, is, I mean, apart from the fact we enjoy it, is also to fit in all the stuff we want to do and fit in the stuff that we think, or that we figure that the audience wants to hear. There are definitely key songs when we've played live in the past sort of 4 years that we've always played, we've never left out. I mean, Pictures of You was always in the set. I think Lullaby was always in the set. Just Like Heaven was always in the set. They're really like the singles, I suppose, that mean something. Whereas although, like in America, I suppose Love Song's our biggest single, but that isn't like a mainstay in the set. In fact, we play it very rarely. So it's a combination of what the audience wants and also and what we feel comfortable playing. But, I mean, it changed through last year. We played, I think, more than 60 songs in the course of the year. So, but I think there were 5 songs that we played every single night.
The ones you just mentioned.
Yeah, and open and end with the other 2.
You mentioned, we've been talking about Just Like Heaven, which is, I think the reason Electric feels that is because in it was never a big top 40 hit, but it was huge on commercial alternative radio. Any time like K-Rock in LA, WDRE in Long Island will do like their top 500 of all time, that song will be firmly entrenched in the first 5 positions.
Because we did it at the MTV Awards.
Is that it? But
ingratiating.
What do you think of your status of still being an alternative band, even though you entered the charts at number 2 with your last album? You've had, I think Love Song was at least a number 2 or number 1 single.
Only 2.
Number 2, just missed it. What kept it out? Do you remember?
I don't. What kept us out this time? Janet Jackson, I think. It might have been Janet Jackson before as well. I think she's got something against us.
It was either that.
She waits and she releases her record sticker.
It was either that or like Garth Brooks or something.
Yeah, that rings a bell. It was someone that we'd never heard of and we thought, how dare he?
But what do you think of, like, how do you view yourself? Isn't that weird for you, or is it weird for you to have an alternative status even though you play Dodger Stadium and Giant Stadium? Is it? How do you perceive that?
I don't know what it means, I suppose. With the Cure in that context, it's because we got nominated for our first Grammy this year for the Wish album, as in Best Alternative Album.
It would have been this last year, yeah.
Yeah, so that made us laugh, you know, because it was like a number 2 album, and it was number 1 like everywhere else in the world. But it's like
R.E.M. was probably nominated for Best Alternative Album as well, which sold 4 million copies.
Yeah, I think they were actually. Yeah. So I mean, it's just, I suppose it's an attitude. So we should be pleased to be classified as alternative. I mean, I would hate, being serious, I would hate to be considered mainstream, because I still like the idea of people being able to like us and not be embarrassed about liking us. You know, it's like that we're not quite right.
And we're going to have the final installment of our exclusive interview with Robert Smith in just a few minutes. But first, we got a new video.
We're up very late on a Sunday night and watching 120 minutes. I see her lips moving.
Into the future.
By the way, a lot of people have told me that I look exactly like Dave Grohl, the drummer of Nirvana. Is that true, would you say? Yeah, okay. He's probably much more handsome than I am, I'm sure. Okay, one more day, that's it, the most anticipated album by far of the year. Well, actually, Nirvana probably and the Pearl Jam album, but Nirvana's 3rd album, In Utero, hits stores tomorrow, Tuesday. Finally, can't wait for that. Also can't wait for the video, which we still haven't gotten yet, directed by Anton Corbijn, hopefully soon, like in the next week or 2. Thanks for staying up late with 120 Minutes. I'm Louis Largent, and now for the final installment of our exclusive interview with Robert Smith of The Cure. You have an amazing knack, excuse me, for bringing people into the band who are not like necessarily obvious choices from other people, like you wouldn't audition somebody. They're usually people you know, and Perry was your roadie, Is he going to contribute now? Does he contribute to like the songs and the songwriting process, or is he going to contribute like in the making of your next album? I don't even know if you thought that far ahead or not.
Well, we never really thought of Perry as a roadie because he's exactly the same age as us and exactly the same sense of humour and a similar upbringing. Not. I mean, we've all got pretty diverse upbringings, but it's gone through the same basic educational system in England, and so has the same kind of phobias, the same bugbears and that. It's very easy to get on with and understands the Cure, and as an old Cure fan, actually saw us in 1979. So it was the most natural thing in the world to, when the position became vacant, so to speak, just to invite him in. I mean, it wasn't because he could play particularly well. That's never the primary concern. Although he can play well, but he wasn't picked because he was technically a wonderful musician, and then let's see what his personality is like. I mean, he was picked because he fits, and it was like a kind of a bonus that he could actually play. You know? Well, had he not been able to play at all, I doubt if we would have considered him. But I mean, he contributed to the Wish album. He wrote Trust, just one of Perry's songs, not lyrically but musically. So he started straight away. I mean, he had like 10 years worth of stuff on cassette to play me. So listen to this one. So yeah, he's very into it. In fact, he's actually like he's constantly the one on the phone to me saying, "When are you going to do something?" And I said, "I haven't finished the last stuff yet." Because he's sitting at home like shuffling his feet, wanting to get going. Because to him, it's all very new. I mean, he was in a band when he was at school and for a couple of years after he left school, but has never really been in a serious. If we were a serious band, but you know, a band that is able to make records. So he wants us to get going quick. So I have to like patiently explain to him that I need a break for a certain period of time, otherwise I get fed up with it.
And there you go. That's it. Hope you enjoyed our exclusive interview with Robert Smith as a little postscript to the whole Robert Smith thing. Just in case you're ever wondering, Robert Smith is gotta be, he's like the nicest, most candid, genuinely honest, sincere guy around. He kind of has a timeless quality about him. Like when things go in and out of fashion, he's kind of stayed the same and been really true to the music and just like the nicest guy in the world. He was so great, and like afterwards, he really enjoyed the interview a lot. Like played us, he went and got this tape and played us this really spaced out, weird kind of techno-y version of Purple Haze that's coming out on a Jimi Hendrix tribute album soon. So I look forward to hearing that. The final video on tonight's show comes from what is going to be an enormous, gigantic